Hey, diddly diddly, scoop bop bop, badoo bop bop. Welcome back to the Big Brave Show, brought to you by the Peace Jam Foundation and 1 Billion Acts of Peace. Good bad! We have been running a contest for the greatest acts of peace and greatest public service things we could find.
Every year we have our Hero Awards, and we love this time of year because we get to look at all the great work that's happening all over the world, and we pick the very best projects from our 1 Billion Acts of Peace campaign, and we honor them and feature them. And so today we get to share our 12 semifinalists with you. First, we want to talk about the Best Youth Act.
And our best youth acts are Aerobotics 7 and Plant for the Planet.
Hero Award nominee for Best Youth Act, Irobotics 7. There are an estimated 110 million active landmines buried in over 70 countries around the world today. More than 2 million landmines were placed along the Indian-Pakistan border as recently as 2002. And between 1999 and 2008, 2,931 casualties and injuries were reported in India. In 2016, 14-year-old Harshvardhan Sala learned that soldiers in India were dying while trying to defuse landmines manually. So he designed 3 drone prototypes that could perform this task. These drones were designed to send out infrared waves covering 8 square meters while flying 2 feet above the surface to detect the landmines and communicate their location to a base station equipped with RGB sensors and thermal meters, a 21 megapixel camera, and a 50-gram bomb. The drones are able to remotely detect and destroy any landmines that they can find. Sala recently signed a deal with the Indian Department of Science and Technology to facilitate production of additional drones and started his own company, Irobotics 7, with the goal of creating more innovative technologies to use in combating important world problems. Hero Award nominee for Best Youth Act, Plant for the Planet. The world's rainforests are currently disappearing at a rate of 6,000 acres every hour. Most deforestation is the result of clear cutting for plantations and grazing land for beef cattle. Deforestation coupled with greenhouse gas emissions are the 2 most devastating driving factors for climate change. Scientists have proven that forests and trees are the cheapest, most effective tool to use in reducing the CO2 in Earth's atmosphere. Plant for the Planet is a youth initiative started by 9-year-old Felix Finkbeiner in 2007 with the goal of raising awareness about climate change and global justice, inspired by Nobel laureate Wangari Maathai, who planted 30 million trees in Africa in 30 years. Felix set out to inspire children to plant 1 million trees in every country worldwide to offset CO2 emissions, all on their own. Felix launched a campaign entitled Stop Talking, Start Planting, and by the year 2010, he led his country of Germany to plant their 1 millionth tree. To date, Plant for the Planet has planted 14 billion trees worldwide, and it now has 55,000 ambassadors of climate justice between the ages of 9 and 12 to reach the goal of planting 1 trillion trees by 2020. If successful, this will be the largest deforestation project ever attempted.
Such inspiring work. We love both of those projects. And we also have the Best Community Act. For our Best Community Act this year, we have the Veterans Community Project and also Ruta Pacifica.
Hero Award nominee for Best Community Act, Veterans Community Project. There are more than 47,000 homeless veterans in the United States. Many veterans lack skills easily transferred to employment outside of the military. They also struggle to find affordable housing options and often lack social support systems. More than 54% of veterans exhibit symptoms of PTSD or suffer from mental illness or substance abuse. All of these factors put them at a great risk of homelessness. The Veterans Community Project began with 4 veterans from Kansas City who decided to create a community of tiny homes and on-site services for former servicemen and women, and to use the power of community, mentoring, counseling, and job training to address the underlying causes of veterans' homelessness, and to help their fellow veterans who are homeless to transition to a more stable and prosperous civilian life. The Veterans Community Project has begun construction of 52 tiny houses for local Kansas City veterans, and they have been contacted by more than 300 other communities who want to create a similar model to help solve the homeless problem in their own towns. The Veterans Community Project has a long-term goal of eliminating veteran homelessness nationwide. Hero Award nominee for Best Community Act, Ruta Pacifica. The civil war in Colombia has left 220,000 people dead and more than 5 million civilians forced from their homes, generating the world's second largest population of internally displaced persons. Attempts at a peace deal between the Colombian government, paramilitary groups, crime syndicates, and the left-wing guerrillas have been unsuccessful for decades and excluded women's voices, even though women are frequently at the center of human rights violations and often bear the greatest weight of the conflict's impact. Since 1996, Ruta Pacifica has used nonviolent and civil resistance to promote the inclusion of Colombian women in the peace process. Ruta Pacifica made the Truth Commission for Women in 2014 to document the stories of 1,000 different people, women, indigenous people, youth, and the poor who have suffered most during the armed conflict in order to share their voices and end the cycle of fear that war produces. More than 300 organizations and women groups from 9 regions of Colombia have joined together in this effort to illustrate that peace is not only the result of the negotiation of the armed conflict, but also the moral, ethical, and cultural reconstruction of every person, city, or region. Ruta Pacifica believes that the participation of women in the current Colombian peace deal can act as a model for other countries, showing them one way to apply gender equality and inclusion to their own transitions from conflict to peace.
You know these are great projects, and we'd like for you to come back next week and check them out. In the meantime, stay brave, because it's the only way you'll have a safe space.